Hello, everybody. It's your old pal Vern coming to you live, pre-recorded from the Pink Room. Uh, Folks, this is. There's no easy way to talk about this, but February and March and April are very. It's a difficult stretch of time for me, and it has been for a very long time. Um, February, March, and April uh, all have many dates that are significant to myself, to my friend Molly, or to Molly and myself. And uh, I've been getting sad in February and March um, for like over half my life since 2007, 2008. I'm not sure, but uh, this time of the year has always been hard for me. Uh, and for the longest time, my way of dealing with how difficult this time of year was by not talking about it at all. Just by keeping my mouth shut and and if I did talk about it, I would sprinkle it into some art or something where it was kind of disguised. But and in the years, uh, it's gotten easier to talk about Molly. It's still like a heavy, enormous, like crushing weight. It's still very heavy, but it's easier to carry because it's just less cumbersome. Talking about it makes it less cumbersome and less like awkward to hold. Um, but um, my friend Molly was so cool. She was so funny. She had a very let's say a wicked sense of humor, but also just like very cute and whimsical. Um, I'm very fortunate and lucky to have a lot of inside jokes with my friend Molly. My friend Molly was super talented. She was an incredible artist, um, award-winning photographer. Um, she won a trip to both New York and Washington, D.C. for her art. Her art was displayed in the Capitol, I believe. I got to see her uh, walk across stage of Carnegie Hall for her art, and that's a like a cherished memory. And Molly was incredibly kind. Um, uh, Perhaps too kind. um, but um, there's a lot of conversation online about my friend Molly. Despite I've not been talking about my friend Molly very much, but there has been a lot of conversation about Molly online. You can type my friend Molly's name into like any podcast search engine and find a ton of podcasts about her. You can type her name on any kind of internet search and find many articles about her. Uh, I I saw something about Molly on HBO Max the other day. There was something about Molly there, uh, and there was something about Praveen there too, who I never met. Praveen, um, but I knew Molly, and there's a lot of dialogue. I've heard Doctor Drew talk about Molly, Doctor Drew Pensky, the Loveline guy. I've heard Nancy Grace talk about Molly. Um, I once heard Peter Griffin in an episode of Family Guy say, "In your face, Nancy Grace." And Peter Griffin, the cartoon character, was referencing a real life human being, Nancy Grace, who was talking about my friend Molly, a person who I knew in real life and spent time with, like, on TV. There's just been there's a lot of conversation kind of about Molly anywhere. But it all makes me so incredibly sad, and it's made me so sad for such a long time. And it makes me sad for the obvious reasons. It's a tragic story. But it's also sad for me for personal reasons. Because we are so close. It's hard for me because I read articles about the circumstances, and I know everyone that's, like, named in the articles. I've went to school with these people, or I were close with these people. One of the people whose names come up frequently in these articles is the guy who was, like, there in the delivery room when I was born. Like my childhood pediatrician. And, like, you can read his name in articles about this, and, like, that's been a mind fudge for me. So it makes me sad because it's, tragic, and it makes me sad because I know all the names of all these people in these articles and in these podcasts and things, and I know them all, like, well, and it also makes me sad for personal reasons, simply because well, I'll let y'all read between the lines, but my relationship with the person who raised me changed once I read the book. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, and that's been something that I've unpacking, and I don't know, it's the whole thing makes me super 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 sad. But I think the thing that makes me the most sad about all of it is, in all these things on HBO Max, or in podcasts, or on YouTube videos, or whatever it might be, Molly the person gets a sentence, maybe a paragraph. And I mean, everything about it is so incredibly sad, but how much time is dedicated to the last couple hours that we were blessed enough to have her here with us, that's been poured over a whole bunch, and it needs to be, it needs to be, and there's more people that need to talk about it. I can't do it, but I'm really blessed and really lucky and really fortunate to have known Molly, and I got to go with her to New York when she won an award for her art. Her favorite painting was The Starry Night by Van Gogh, and I was there when she saw it for the first time at the Museum of Modern Art, and I've spent a lot of time with Molly I've laughed a lot with Molly. I've cried a lot with Molly. The entire gamut of human emotions. I felt those, with Molly, and it all just makes me sad because she was such a cool person. She was so talented. She was so smart. She was so clever. She was so funny. I've been sharing some memories of Molly on my social media, and the other night we were at a birthday party, and I was reminded of this time where Molly and I were at Heron Festa, I believe it was, and I don't know what exactly happened, but Molly and I are walking this way, and all of a sudden, this big, like, AEW, WWE style, like, brawl just broke out, just, like, right next to us. My memory of it is someone came running up from behind me and did, like, a flying, like, Orange Cassidy, like, Orange Punch, to one of these two guys over here. And the guy who did not get punched, who was over here, like, he spun around with his and punched the guy who did the orange punch. And then some other guys came in, and it was suddenly this brawl just, like, broke out, not like 3 feet away from Molly and I. And and the whole thing ended with 2 guys. I don't know if these were the instigators or the ones who fought back, but it ended with 2 guys, like, literally, and I still see it to this day. The guy who was facing me, red shirt, white gym shorts, but they were standing back to back in, like, a fighter pose, and they were doing a circle, just, like, doing like a come on, and it was bananas. It was just like a real life, like, pay-per-view, just, like, broke out right next to us. And when I'm a fawner and I'm a freezer when it comes to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. I'm a freezer and I'm a fawner. And so, like, this giant brawl broke out, and I just, like, stopped dead in my tracks, completely dumbfounded. And then, I felt this tugging on my arm, and it was Molly, just pulling me to safety. And and in a way, that's kind of what Molly has done for me my entire life. Just, like, pull my dumb ass away from, like, danger. It's a shame I didn't notice that until, recently, but it just makes me sad because she was such a cool person, and so funny, and so clever, so unique, and so special. And you could listen to all these podcasts about her, and watch all these things on Max about her, and read all these articles about her, and never know that. And I think that's I mean, there's a lot of things that make me really sad about it, but that's one of the things that really gets me down. But this year has been different because I've been talking about it. I've been talking about her, and I've been crying every single day. But it's made it easier to carry. It's still heavy. It's still heavy as but it's easier to carry. And my ma, the person who raised me, was a complicated person, and she had her own feelings towards Molly, and she she worked overtime to influence how I felt about the woman and how I treated the person, but and both these people being so close to me, that compounds the sadness. But I don't know. I just the lack of information out there about who my friend Molly the person was, and the the too short time that we had with her here with us. I think this year has just this year's been different because whenever I start crying, when the waterworks start going, it's because of gratitude. I'm just I'm really grateful to have so many memories. I'm really grateful to have so many memories of my friend Molly, and I'm so grateful and lucky to have inside jokes with her, and still every day see things that remind me of her, hear things that remind me of her, and I'm just really fortunate, and I'm really lucky on that end. And the tragedy that occurred, I learned about a lot about myself and my upbringing, and my own brain, and all this stuff subsequent, if I'm using that word correctly, after the tragedy that occurred. And I've learned a lot. I like to think I've grown a lot as an artist and as a human being. I hope I have. There's always room for improvement, obviously. But there's just been a lot of good in my life that's come from knowing Molly, from spending time with her, and from all the feelings that I felt, that this person's made me feel, and that things that have happened to this person have made me feel. And I just I wish the Google results and the podcasts and everything were about like gallery openings, or art awards, or like sneak peeks at like production process photos of things that she's working on. And it's just felt like a really cruel joke to live in this reality where a lot of everything that you hear about her is such a small window of time that she was here with us. And it all makes me really sad. But as I said, I'm really blessed to have known her, and to have have had her in my life, and to be a part of her life. I'm really honored that we shared so many intersections. So she pushed me. She pushed me to pursue art seriously. She pursued she wanted me to take myself seriously, and I had a hard time believing that was the right thing to do, because there were many grown-ups around me growing up that made me feel like dirt, and I didn't realize it. But it's just a thing where I don't always know what she saw in me, but I'm really grateful and really happy that she saw it. And there was a long time where I was just hurting so bad, and didn't know why, or thought I knew why. And there was a long time where I was just flailing around and hurting others because I was hurt, and I, didn't care about their feelings, and also I didn't know what empathy was. But once I kind of found my footing and started realizing what was going on, I've just tried to be the person, or to be, be the whatever it was that she saw in me all those years ago. And I try to, I pursue art because of her, and I try to be a nicer person than I used to be because of her. And I like to think of myself as just one of the many mediums that my favorite artist, Molly, has worked with. And I try really hard to be an art project that my friend Molly would be proud of. And I've just been trying to make it as best as I can for this person who inspired me to love art and to see art, and this person just who introduced me to all these new emotions and all these new feelings that I didn't know were possible. So yeah, all this to say, there was a brief moment of time where I was calling February, March, and April Vern Lent, but that felt a little selfish, and that felt a little self-centered, and also a little sacrilegious. And so we call this time of year the Great Rainbow, or the Rainbow Experience, like that Incredible Poppies song. And I think the coolest thing is that Molly loved rainbows, and I think just one of the coolest things is whenever things suck outside, whenever it's stormy and rainy and cold and things are feeling dire, the thing that's out there and lets you know all's good is a rainbow. And so it's always been really nice for me to see rainbows during times of hardship in nature, but also hardship internally. And I try to be less like the person who painted in the dark, depressing colors, and look at the world, more through the prism of the artist who just loved rainbows. And it's something that it's brought me a lot of peace. And it's all you can get, that's all you can hope for, apart from like justice, obviously. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just ramblling. This is way incoherent and all over the place just because it's hard to talk about. But I just wanted to say that this month this February, March, this April, but also just literally every fucking day of my entire life. I think about my friend Molly, and I especially think about them during this time of year, and the many of us who are blessed enough to know Molly are never going to forget her, and she has deserved better for a very long time. And I'm not much, but I'm doing my can. I'm doing what I can and doing the best that I can to try to make things up to her. So anyway, Molly, wherever you're at, I hope you're doing well, and I miss you. But you already know that. So.